I know that pastors are asking themselves, okay, I get it, but how in the world really can we get involved? What is the next step?
I think the first step is to really come to grips with the words of Jesus in Matthew chapter 28 and realize that your church has a call to the nations. The second question then is where around the world? And that's where the process of discernment begins.
Knowing who is in your neighborhood, who is in your church, is the most helpful place to begin. Because there are very few places that we live in this country now that there's not someone from another country who is really eager to let us know about their country and what's going on.
Maybe you have a big Indian population or Filipinos or Cambodians. We have huge Afghan populations in Virginia, massive Cambodian populations in California. If you see that there's 5 Thai restaurants, then let that be a springboard. Start seeing, well, how many Thai people live in your area?
There are also opportunities where people in your own congregation may come from another country and they have a heart for their country, and that gives you an opportunity to potentially visit that country with those folks that have a passion for that country.
Is there a part of the world that really speaks to you? Do you have a connection with people in a particular part of the world? Is there's somebody in your church who's got connections in that part of the world? And so you might start there. You might also start in your relational networks. In my area, who else isn't involved in missions, and maybe we could cooperate together to do something?
We found that there are always people that are interested in what's happening cross-culturally and in other countries. They're there. They're always going to be there. And there are always people that want to pray about that together. So asking who are those that want to just pray together about where you might want to be focused and what God might be speaking to you about.
If you have a sense of what country that you like to connect with, then connect with the Vineyard Missions office, check the Vineyard Missions website.
Pretty much wherever you feel God calling you to work, there's some Vineyard people there or nearby. So if you contact our office or you look on the website, there's a list of regional coordinators in the areas that they oversee. And if you contact them, they're in touch with folks on the ground on a regular basis, and they can point you to other churches that are already working there or working somewhere nearby or have indicated an interest in working there.
When people contact the missions office, we want to make those connections happen easily, so that people have on-ramps to get plugged in and to find out what is happening in the vineyard.
When you get involved in missions, you don't have to feel that you have to do everything. There are other people that already know how to be involved in different countries. And so if you go to the website, you'll find the list of partnerships, the list of countries.
For some churches, they're already connected with quite a number of different countries, and they begin to realize we're going to send $20 to 100 different countries and get nowhere. So how do we then begin to focus? How do we not give a little bit, a lot of places, but try to bring in?
Focus helps harness the team in the same direction so they've got greater power and effectiveness over the long haul. Focus and vision help us to say yes to the right things and no to other things.
We wanted to go to the Muslim world, but that's all we knew. So we actually ended up taking a trip to 3 different countries that were predominantly Muslim. And by the end of the trip, we knew from what God was saying to us that the last country we went to is the place where we needed to go. And so that's some part of what you need to do. And then if there's a partnership there, what you want to do is hook up with an existing partnership and join in with their efforts, and you'll learn a lot from them and you'll find your place in it. If there is no partnership, then we have regional representatives. They will help you to figure out, so how might a partnership get started and what would we do if that's what needs to happen?
We can point you to some written materials, some books, and some things that we've developed that'll be helpful. We have guides for helping to develop leaders in other nations. We have training events that go on. We have lots of people who've been through this process, who have done it with their own churches, and would be happy to walk with you through a similar process in your church.
Everything we're doing here is beyond the scope, or at least ought to be beyond the scope of what we could do in the natural anyway. I just think God wants to take that box that we live in and expand that box to be so much bigger, literally the 4 corners of the world. Now, we're not responsible for all 4 corners of the world, but we're responsible for what little slice He's given us.
The gospel It's all about the here, near, and far, Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the ends of the earth. When people really catch that vision, then they want to find out, God, where are you calling me to go?
I think that being in a partnership brings to life the broader world for our community. To be associated with something that Jesus is doing clear on the other side of the world has been an ongoing stretch for our community to be part of the Great Commission.
Yeah.
I think most of us, as we look back on our lives, we realize, how did I get here? It wasn't through any perfectly crafted 5 or 10 year plan. It's sort of like, we just respond to what God puts in front of us, and then we do that again. And suddenly we're in this amazing place, in the midst of this amazing journey. So as much as this may seem overwhelming, all you need to do is figure out the next step. Just take one step and you'll get there. And again, you've got great resources to help you the rest of the way.